Yep.
I don't know that I am, but yeah.
I don't know that I am. Well, we'll sound amazing.
I'm Brother Dan.
I'm Sister Lisa.
And with us, our first recurring guest, special guest, Brother Jordan.
Welcome back.
It's great to be back.
Hey, bud.
Hey.
So, listener, if you haven't already, there's a somewhat recent episode a few back on your little podcast player called Mormonism to Mushrooms, a conversion story, in which Brother Jordan tells his tale of converting to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at 18?
18?
And pretty much immediately going on a mission.
At
19.
19, yeah. I think technically 19 the first time I went.
Right.
And then 20 when I went back, yeah.
For indiscretion.
Wow.
Check it out. And served a full 2 years in Argentina.
Argentina.
And you pretty much left right away after that?
Came back, did a year at BYU.
Oh,
and
classic.
But at halfway through that year, I was decidedly going to get out at the end of that year. I was like, I'll just finish this year out. And then, so pretty much immediately got
That's
out.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boom.
Nothing gives you a better reason to leave the church than serving a mission.
And coming back.
And coming back.
Living the reality of BYU.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything changes.
Well, actually, I was going to ask you, where are you at now?
Where are you?
I mean, you still haven't officially resigned.
I still haven't. And I every time I see the word notary, I think about it. I'm reminded that I need to do it. At this point, I think it's just out of sight, out of mind, lazy-ish. But yeah, the other day I got an email from a coworker and they had notary underneath their name. I was like, oh, okay.
I need one.
Maybe I can just bring that sheet of paper to that person. So soon, I got to do it. Yeah.
It feels good.
Yeah.
To be like, you don't get to count me.
Well, one step that I did take, I had for some reason in a box underneath a bunch of other boxes, my mission scriptures, and all of my like things, the certificate of you completed a mission thing. And I did a huge clean out session of my house this summer and in the trash can.
Nice.
So those are all gone.
Wow.
I don't know why I was keeping them. I think at some point I was hoping I'd kind of be able to go back, look at them and chuckle a bit, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm not interested in doing that anymore.
Yeah. It's not so funny.
No.
Turns out.
It's not funny.
No.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So soon, and I will let you both know when it happens.
Yeah, we want updates.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll make a party of it.
Absolutely.
I don't think I had that extra step, the notary.
No,
I think that would be a big barrier.
The church law offices, I think it's Kurt and McConkie, have put up as many roadblocks as they can to make it harder when quitmormon.org was set up to make it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so many people were like, this is great. I'm doing this. And then they just flooded with resignations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, I'm also always reminded of it every time I get contact from elders and
do they
and
come
I have in the past couple of years.
Your door?
No, somehow they got my number.
Oh.
I got a text saying that it was my turn to clean
the
building or something like that. I got another text from some sister missionaries being like, we'd love to come visit you.
Wow.
I responded with a dinosaur emoji.
Amazing.
Yeah. So every once in a
Mysterious.
while, they're tracking me down, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's happened at the place I'm living now, the last place I was living at, which I was just staying in a friend's basement for 3 months. And
Oh my
they found
God.
Me. Yeah.
What?
I have no idea. I have no idea how they found me.
The tenacity.
Because I'm not on socials. I'm
That's
not
creepy.
anything. I don't know how they found me. But yeah, they're persistent, if anything.
Yeah, it's true. If they can, they will.
Indeed.
You're like, it is not my turn to clean the bathrooms. The ward building.
What ward are you somehow associated with?
It didn't say. I didn't reply and be like, where is this?
Yeah.
They just said, they assumed I knew,
Right.
I guess.
What's the address?
Do I need to bring my own fabulosa? Like, what equipment do you have available for me?
Well, today we invited Brother Jordan to talk about some other kind of creepy, weird organization, if you want to call it that. When did you tell me about this? This was probably a year and a half ago.
It's been
at least
probably been a couple of years.
Might be a couple of years.
Yeah.
You told me about this podcast about something called twin flames, which is a term that I've heard and immediately laughed off.
Just in the general
zeitgeist.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds pretty self-explanatory, but there was this whole documentary series, this podcast about Twin Flames Universe, which is definitely a cult built not around a spiritual relationship with God, but a spiritual relationship with your twin flame. And people are terrified of mortality, and that is preyed upon by things like churches and cults. And then they're also obsessed, a lot of people anyway, about love, being in love, having a partner, being married, and
like a super soulmate.
Yep. Yeah. The idea of the soulmate, which I think is a through line for a lot of cults, but there's definitely that kind of similar eternal attachment to another perfect match
made for you.
Between twin flames and
the
LDS Church.
Each other.
Yep.
So I mean, there's so much so much crazy that comes along with the story of this.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's impossible. We're not going to do a documentary series here and now, but in the last couple of years, there have been 2 television documentaries that have come out, I think in the last year. One of which I think we'll probably primarily focus on, which was Escaping Twin Flames. Is that the full title of it?
Yes. On Netflix. Yeah.
Yep. Directed by friend of the show, Cecilia Peck. Hello, Cecilia. She, I think, at least produced the NXIVM documentary that was on Hulu, which we talked about on this show a couple years back. And she heard about it somehow.
Which there's later on in the story, there's a connection there between NXIVM and Twin Flames.
I forget what that is.
Well, we'll get to there, maybe.
Okay.
If not, I'll loop back.
Okay.
So put a pin in that.
And they both have echoes of Scientology stuff in them, too.
Yeah.
Clearing things. Seduced was the title of that one, which is great.
The Netflix Twin Flame is much better than the...
Yeah, you want to...
What the fuck? The Amazon version?
Yeah.
Is it on Amazon?
It was on Prime.
Yeah, I watched that thinking that was what Cecilia directed. And then I tagged her in a story on Instagram. And she was like, yeah, no, it was the other one. Thank you. And I was like, God damn it. But shit. I watched the right one. And I can confirm it is better.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, much
it is. I've
more
seen both.
organized.
Beautifully done.
Yeah, and it was I felt less about Jeff and Shalia than the victims of theirs.
Should we clarify? If you have never heard of Twin Flames before, Jeff and Shalia are the leaders of this thing.
Yeah.
They're this couple.
Yeah.
That claim that
divine couple.
They are a divine couple living in
Harmonious Union.
They are each other's twin flames. And then later we find out they have another flame coming.
Oh, right. Baby flame.
Jeff and Shalia Ion are their names.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Shalia. Megan Plant, I think was her original name.
Right. I think you're right. What do you mean you feel less for Jeff and Shalia than the victims?
No. I felt that the Netflix series was more about the victims and less about them.
Got it.
Because I remember in the Prime one, at least one of the episodes was primarily about who Jeff was before this started. All his other stupid schemes that he tried to do before he came upon this one.
Friends of his talked about him before,
He's obsessed with, wealth and success.
Making money.
And something that I just keep not understanding about this. I mean, I have read about, researched many cults, organizations. Many of them have a charismatic leader that you're kind of like, I could see how people could be drawn in by this person, even if, aside from the ideas or whatever they're talking about. But these 2 dorks, I don't understand it. They're, They're goobers.
Yeah, the amount of ick that I get from both of them
oozes out of them.
Yes.
They're just
so
I agree.
Awkward. I agree. And you, especially when they're presenting themselves as this couple living in harmonious union, and
doesn't
then you
read at all.
then you watch them like bicker with each other in front of their followers.
Let the man speak.
I don't understand either. Like, how are you looking at this couple thinking, I want that in my life.
Right.
Like, I would love me some of that kind of contentious energy
aspire.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good point. It is really interesting how it gained a lot of following and still has
any following.
Yeah, based on their personalities.
Right. Well, I think that speaks to the notion of people are desperate for love.
Yeah.
And if they can't find it on their own, and these people are telling you, we guarantee that if you do these courses and do this work, that you will end up with your twin flame.
Yeah.
That they have to see past that if they see it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how powerful it is.
You know, just like all of these other cults, you know, they're targeting people who are in precarious places in their lives, searching for answers, maybe didn't have the best childhood.
Yeah.
You really feel in the Netflix documentary, there's a lot of focus on these two sisters. They mention how they'd always been close because they had bonded over a lifetime of having a difficult parent, you know? So you're talking about people that maybe haven't had that sense of love their whole lives. And so, they're desperate for it. They're desperate for it. And you see that word guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's wild.
Well, I guess I'll get my money back if it doesn't work, maybe is what you're thinking, only to find out the rules change later. That's where the guarantee comes in. It's like, as long as you keep changing your expectations with the rules that we keep changing, then you'll find it.
Yeah, and if it's not working out, if they're not cooperating, don't give up. Try harder. Persist. Stalk them.
Yeah, that's what these cult leaders, Jeff and Shalia, they end up. Can we talk about the mirror exercise?
Oh yeah, we have to.
Okay,
yeah.
So the entire basis of the work, quote unquote, that we're not on a video like we were last time I was here. So I gotta explain what I'm doing with my hands. The work that an individual does is this exercise called the mirror exercise, where you turn everything back on yourself. It's all you. Textbook gaslighting. They're like, if you have a problem, you have to speak things like, instead of saying, I'm angry at brother Dan because he's being selfish, you have to turn around and say, I'm angry at myself because I'm being selfish. So that's basically where this starts. And so you have these people who are getting trained to just constantly blame themselves for their shortcomings and for not finding their twin flames.
It's all on you.
Perfect solution to why it's not working out.
How'd y'all feel? Did that ring true from your experience in the church? Like, if you're not feeling the spirit,
something wrong with you.
Something wrong with you.
Yeah. You're not praying hard enough. You're not praying about the right things.
If you're doubting,
doubt your doubts.
Doubt your doubts
before you doubt your faith. Okay. Yeah,
you're not baptizing anybody? What are you doing? What are you doing that's a sin? What are you doing that's sinning?
I feel like that's one of those things where they take a kernel of something that can be useful to do to reflect on, like, okay, why am I feeling this way? Maybe I'm projecting. But it's not always like that. And that's not always the case. And so to confuse people,
they're never wrong
like that. Yeah.
They're the gurus. They're the experts.
Well, not just that.
Very manipulative.
Not just that. Jeff eventually Jeff claims he's Jesus. And all of the photos of blue-eyed white Jesus that you see are in fact photos of him, right?
Yeah, not Jesus, the first incarnation, but
first coming. It's the second.
It's the second coming.
Yeah. Which one of the cult members that had gotten out in like 2019 has the perfect response to that. She's like, I'm Jewish. Like, we don't even stand the first coming. You can't tell me that you're the second coming, sir. Yeah. Sir.
On the way here, I looked up at the sky, and the sky looked exactly like that painting of Jesus descending to the clouds with the daughter. Like, that's the same girl. Like, in the whole picture, every angel is the same girl. You know what I mean?
The one that we had over our fireplace?
sashed Christ. No, that's the one where he's like welcoming someone into heaven with the rainbow and the dove. But this one, it was in my bedroom, and it was like Jesus descending from the blue sky with these dappled clouds, and he's wearing a white robe with a red sash. And the like angels are trumpeting his second coming, and the sky looked exactly like that.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I was like, oh God, okay. Yep, keep going. Yeah.
Is there a copy of that in the MTC right outside of the cafeteria?
Probably. They probably have every church painting in the MGC.
Oh, they probably took down a few of Joseph Smith.
Yeah, okay.
They've been doing that.
Have they?
Oh, yeah. I was in the church building that
decentralizing
the whole thing.
Okay.
There used to be that one where he's like, it looks like a college portrait. Like he's got scriptures in his arm. He's blonde, blue-eyed, big chests. And, a ridiculous portrait. That's gone. And there also used to be one of him like with a gas lamp, and he's translating, quote unquote, but like he has his hands on the plates, and they've gotten rid of that because it's become quite clear, even in the church zeitgeist, like that's not accurate to how we even understand he was translating these.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sorry,
definitely de-emphasizing old Joe.
Got to do what you got to do. You know, got to get that tithe money. So
that's right.
Whatever you got to change to get people in.
And it was meant to be that way all along.
Yeah. Just got to trust the plan.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Jeff looks like Jesus. That's where we were.
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
And he doesn't.
No, that was my fault.
He doesn't.
And he doesn't.
He's got long hair and a beard. And that's about it. I mean, that's pretty common. I mean, I think David Koresh eventually said that he was the Messiah.
It's kind of like pick a lane, though. You know? Like, you already have a specialty here in this, cult. You gotta maybe just focus on one wild thing.
Well, in that progression of what they're telling that we watch and that you see in the documentary, what they're telling their followers, which progresses real fast, really escalates. You see them scrambling for, okay, how do we set up our next manipulation? So like if we're not being listened to, okay, well, we got to first claim we're deity. And then our word is unquestionable.
Yeah.
And then if you're not finding your twin flame, that's because your twin flame has to be a member of Twin Flame University to be your actual twin flame. So, and you don't choose. You don't choose. We choose. So, stop looking, and we'll tell you where to look. And it's it's that person right next to you that you don't really know, or whatever. So it just kept. Oh, you didn't know you're gay? Right. Guess what? You didn't know you're a man? I guess what? We should explain that for people. That part. Well, eventually, I don't know if they did not think far enough ahead. Probably not. But if the group doesn't keep growing, which, I mean, it was never huge, but... I mean, the Facebook forum had like 30,000 people at one point. But they weren't all like paying members. Yeah. I mean, I don't think. But if everyone's pairing off and there's more women than men, then eventually, what are we going to do? Well... So instead of Warren Jeffing it, and saying, let's have multiple wives, they start telling people that they're actually another gender than they believe themselves to be. Revealing to them. So telling people that they're either a divine masculine or divine feminine. Yeah, it's not about your physical body. Exactly. By your divinity.
Forcing people to transition. I haven't heard. Have either of you heard of that happening in any other organization? Never. That's the only time I've ever heard of that happening.
So that eventually leads to them telling the divine masculine members that they need to start embracing their masculine bodies, which ends up meaning transitioning, top surgery for a lot of people. Yep. Hormones. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. But the thing, people actually do it. Why at that point would you be like, there's
I
something
got to get out of here.
there's something powerful about the human brain not wanting to admit they're wrong. And at that point, a lot of those people,
You've been in it for a while.
just the entrance classes are like $2,222 or something like that, some sort of, and then you pay for more classes, and then you pay to become a coach, and then you pay for more coaching sessions, and then so you've already, a lot of these people threw in 20, 30, 40 grand. And it's so hard at that point for some people to be like, everything I've done was based on a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And so you dig in. It's crazy.
Yeah, there is that couple, one who was a trans woman and then one who transitioned to a man, and they're on their website still now.
Yeah.
But I think they distanced themselves but haven't like denounced
Okay.
the group. That's heavy. Also, even the seemingly most successful couples in this, like the one who's mainly featured in this documentary who became like the CEO of the coaching part, their twin flame union was terrible.
Terrible.
All of these people have terrible relationships that they need to work through, and they need to find their problems and clear them because this is what it's supposed to be, and you guys just get over it.
I feel so badly for those people in that documentary, because you're watching people in abusive relationships,
and they kind of know it,
and they know it,
like, but
they feel trapped, and they feel like,
what do I gotta do?
Yeah, that's crazy how like it seems that the real problems for some of them started when they got their twin flame.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be the answer to all your problems.
Yeah.
I mean, the story with, they're in the documentary.
Yeah.
We can name names, right?
Sure.
So there's Keely and Marley, the sisters.
Yeah.
Keely is the one you're referencing that became the CEO. And
Yeah.
Keely brings her younger sister in at 19.
She's the one
at
who,
19.
for some reason, I felt the most
Marley?
bad for.
Yeah.
She's
19? Because the story behind
Give
her...
yourself a chance.
The story behind her twin flame is... So Jeff channels, is what he calls it. They channel someone's twin flame, is when they tell you who your twin flame is. And he channels during this meeting, and it's on... You watch the video. It's like, have you found your twin flame yet? Marley's like, no, I don't know. No. And he goes, open up your phone. And she opens up her phone and she has a message from someone she's never met before who's been sending her creepy messages on Facebook. And he says, that's your twin flame. She then moves to Utah to be with him. He has, I'm not a professional, you can help me out, schizoaffective disorder.
Sure, yeah, that's a thing.
He's got a criminal history.
Yeah.
When she first moves there, he can't leave the state because he's on probation for something.
God, I forgot how horrifying that part was.
And she ends up living in that situation for years.
Oh my God.
Wasn't his name Joshua?
Yeah, I think so. And every time you see her basically bearing testimony, quote unquote, about twin flames, she's crying.
Yeah.
And I have flashbacks of like testimony meeting where people are like emoting and, trying to prove how much they feel the spirit or whatever.
It read to me as a mixture of that and like I'm
anguish.
I don't really want
terrified. Exactly. That's where I was going. It's just like she
I have to do this.
Terrified. Yeah. It was so hard to watch that in particular.
Yeah, being forced into situations where you don't have all the information, you're just told you have to do this. That's not consenting.
No.
And then of course now you got to be like role models.
Right.
And examples for other people. Like, see? Success.
Yeah, their success, Jeff and Shalia's success is dependent on their followers' success. Their credibility is dependent upon them succeeding.
Yeah.
So the poster children, if you will, of the organization have to just make it work.
Right. It's an MLM.
Yes.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
But one that has just these enormous consequences for its salespeople.
I'm so glad for these people that got out, but I think which one was in? Stephanie?
Yes.
Of those twins, I believe she's still in it.
Yeah.
That's wild. And to not see your family for years, not talk to them, avoid them at all costs, that's sad.
I didn't get that kind of pressure when I joined the Mormon Church.
To stop talking to your family.
Right.
But when you're on your mission,
I got more. Yeah. I mean, there was like forced separation there for sure. And you're not allowed to call home whenever you want.
they have changed that.
It is different now, but yeah.
Back then it was Christmas and Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And screw fathers.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to call their father on Father's Day, right? But yeah, looking back, there was more pressure to convert them. There was more like, okay, you have this gift. Now spread it to your family, bring them into the fold. And watching that go down with Keely and Marley made me so grateful that I didn't push that with my family. I didn't I didn't try to sell that on them.
You mean for you as a convert to convert your family?
Exactly. Yeah. Because now I would, looking back on it, like say I don't think I would have convinced anybody, but say one of my sisters joins and then I'm like, ooh, no, I would feel so bad.
Oh my God.
I'd feel terrible. I'd feel bad. But, I also have the guilt of some people that I brought into the fold on my mission.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most of them are out already too.
Hopefully.
But yeah. Hopefully.
It's funny how your perspective can change so much.
Mm-hmm.
You spend 2 years trying to convert people, and now you're like, God,
it was the most important thing.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really hard to watch and understand why people get sucked into this, but having fallen for it myself, I get it.
Yeah.
You desperately want some sort of base.
I was thinking about that the other day, like how it is so not, at least for me on my mission, it was not about other people gaining salvation, so to speak. It was me being able to get on that phone call and say, we talked to this many people, we taught this many lessons, we had this many baptisms, we had this many people come to church. It was a status game. Through and through. And the people we were trying to, quote, teach were just pawns.
Did you get any kind of like aggressive pressure from zone leaders or anything? Like,
I mean,
were you ever yelled at for not doing enough?
Oh, yelled at? I wouldn't say yelled at, but there was like, I mean, to have to talk to someone on the phone every week to report your numbers.
We had to report every night.
Every night? I mean, it may have been more frequent. I have blocked it out, but like these people and you want them to think you're good at this.
Yeah.
And you want them to think you're righteous. If you're not getting numbers, it means you're not doing a very good job.
Yeah.
So to report to often an older male person, an elder.
Right. Someone with a power that you do not have.
Exactly.
That you're not allowed to have.
Yes.
The priesthood.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a dynamic there.
I got yelled at.
Yeah, you straight up yelled at.
Straight up yelled at.
Like in person.
Why didn't you baptize anybody this week?
Over the phone.
What's your problem?
Oh my God.
What are you doing wrong? Yeah.
Wow.
You need to pray harder.
That's really Christ-like.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like that's probably not
What up, Elder McNeely?
typical.
Oh my God.
I'm naming names.
What were you saying?
I don't think that's very typical.
Which part?
That sounds like a
To be yelled at?
problem.
It was a personal problem, yeah.
A lot of anger.
I didn't get that from my mission leader or mission president or anything like that. It was definitely just a few of but they were the ones that were most wrapped in it themselves. And they were yelling at us because they wanted to be able to call the people above them and display what you're saying.
The stakes just get higher.
Exactly.
The more like responsibility you have, like fake responsibility. But
because if you can come home and say you were a zone leader, or a mission or assistant to the president, AP, oof,
I know,
you know,
that means a hotter wife.
Hotter wife,
you know it.
And in the afterlife, hotter wives,
plural, exactly.
Ooh, another parallel with the progression of this Twin Flames university. Eventually,
this institution of learning.
we hinted before that there was the Twin Flames, and then there was a third one. So eventually, Jeff and Shalea announce that they have a third Twin Flame, who is their unborn child. Right? And this unborn child is what's called a golden baby. And a golden baby is someone who already is being born into their Twin Flame union with their parents, and they'll never need sex. They can satisfy themselves. which is
They're already ascended.
one of the creepiest parts is listening to Jeff talk about his future child
Yikes.
being able to fulfill themselves 100%
Mhm.
sexually. Like, could you get any creepier?
Yeah.
Like, what were you talking about? An unborn baby right now.
Yeah.
But then the announcement is, and I'm wondering if this is where it's going next, or if it has. I don't know if you've looked into this.
Mm-mm.
Well, he announces that they purchased this land. I think was it in Minnesota?
I forget.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere
Sounds
around
right.
there, and that it was going to become a place where the Twin Flames universe can go and raise these golden children that are going to be born into
Lord.
the group, right? So there's this like idea of and he presents it like these golden children are watching you. They will test you because they're not fucking around, and they're only going to be born to you if you're ready. And so then he starts talking about like, so now there's a spiritual life before life. And I was like, oh, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
The veil.
Wow, like a pre-Earth,
Yeah.
you could say?
Yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
that's what I'm curious to see if that's what this builds into. Another compound cult.
Right.
Another.
They did try. I can't remember if they actually purchased that land.
Mhm.
They had to abort the first pregnancy, right? Because it was like ectopic.
Ectopic. That exchange between the two on the documentary was one of those uncomfortable exchanges where Shaleia is just saying what the doctor told her, and Jeff's like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I could tell that in that moment, she's like, all right, enough with your bullshit.
Yeah.
This is really, it's happened to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As if we don't live in a country where autonomy over one's body isn't threatened enough. Like, we don't need cults telling people what to do with their bodies right now.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I think
just my 2 cents. I'm going to put them right here.
Yeah, their daughter was born last April, a year and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
Golden baby.
Well, she's surrounded by, life-size crystals, and she's got,
she's got
Porsches.
Gucci,
She's safely traveling in very nice cars.
Right.
Hopefully they're protecting her from the pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh.
So now I'm sure they're just totally utilizing this kid as like fodder for their social media presence.
Yeah.
And
somebody call Child Protective Services, please.
So in
definitely keep an eye on
20
that.
years, hopefully we're getting, documentary about the golden child.
Oh, wow.
Tells
Yeah,
all.
maybe. The directive to like not give up on pursuing your twin flame is disturbing. One of them was arrested for stalking.
For violating a protective order. Yeah.
But that's her problem.
Well, I mean, the whole thing with Marley and the directive there was do everything.
Terrible.
So stay in abusive relationship. And then the getting arrested, people who just go on a couple dates or just a hangout and maybe kiss each other once, and then they end up like just stalking and until finally they're like, stop, or I'm gonna report you.
This is weird.
Yeah. And then Jeff and Shaleia are like, well, you're doing something wrong then.
Yeah.
You need to do the mirror exercise again.
Yeah, you gotta do the work.
Everything is on the line.
Everything.
That's all you really have to tell someone who doesn't know anything about this is this person you need to pursue at all costs. You can just easily fill in the blanks and use your imagination about how problematic that can become.
So true.
Yeah.
That just has so many red flags right there.
Yeah. And then, of course, they turned part of their program into a religion.
Yeah.
They made it tax exempt and had people work for free.
In the documentary, you see Jeff stating to his like top level marketing team his exact intentions. We need to figure out how to not pay so many taxes, and I need to be able to abuse free labor, essentially. I'm paraphrasing, but he says it just as clearly, if not more clearly.
Because I need to be a billionaire.
Yeah. So at that point, then you start thinking like, okay, where's the responsibility? All of these upper level members obviously are under some sort of control too, but then it turns into this kind of like pattern of abuse, and you pass it down, and then the responsibility once you get out it's called moral injury, and you get out and you feel the moral injury of all the horrible stuff that you did to people, and that's real. So these are like, even if you get out, these people are living with this trauma for years.
They have the perfect answer for that. It's called the mind alignment process.
Oh,
in which you can heal your trauma.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah, that's another business that he started, and he was like trying to sell it to the military.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's still active. That's what I don't understand is how this is clearly a racket, but in America, you can take advantage of people to their absolute detriment, bankrupt them, destroy them emotionally, and you can still be doing it. Twin Flames is still active.
I think one of the boldest moves that he makes, and this is my loop back to NXIVM.
Oh yeah.
One of the boldest moves he makes in the whole story in the documentary is when he assigns the homework to one of them is Keeley and some other upper level people to watch all of the NXIVM documentaries and then come up with an essay or a list of reasons why Jeff is not a cult leader they are. And Keeley describes it as like every single thing that we were watching in those documentaries was only supporting the fact that he's a cult leader. It's like, well, you start outsourcing your lies. It's a little harder to keep a hold on it. You're going to lose some people.
Just nails in the coffin. Every similarity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That's America, man.
And
America.
That is America.
Yeah.
That's
these are snake oil salesmen.
economics.
They are, they're
through
grifters.
Through and through.
100% from day one, you can tell.
Yeah, that's all he cared about.
Ooh, can I just laugh at one other aspect of Jeff and Shalea's divine, what is it called? Harmonious Union.
Harmonious
Union.
The beginning of their relationship, how it starts, which he basically brags about in a book he writes about, where it started. She texted him a message on Facebook or something that said, "You horny?"
Oh my God.
So romantic.
The question that started it all.
That's the question that started it all. You horny?
That's all from beautiful love stories stuff.
Profound,
incredible,
deep romance. You horny? Yeah.
Eternal companions. True love.
I guess it all depends on what you're out there looking for, right? When somebody speaks to you, they speak to you.
That's right. Amen. I don't think I can really recommend the Prime Video one. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, if that's all you have access to, I realize not everybody pays for every streamer.
Right. How could you?
How could you?
Yeah. I mean,
the podcast was good too.
I don't regret watching that one. It was fine. Yeah.
And it does have information in it that's not in the Netflix one and vice versa.
Sure. Yeah.
A little more background.
Yeah.
The podcast was like 8 episodes, something like that.
I also really enjoyed the focus on the voice of the victims and the podcast. Is it just called Twin Flames?
I think so.
Yeah.
There was definitely more detail
about that stuff.
The individual person's experience in pursuing their twin flame.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. You get
it makes it even
more of an insight
weird,
into
creepy,
how much pressure and the wild stuff
and how
they were
desperate
doing.
People are.
Yeah.
And how vulnerable they are and gullible to this kind of manipulation.
Yeah. When you're isolated and sad and lonely, it sounds really nice to believe that there's an easy answer.
Yeah.
Like, I can just do this and it will work if I give it my all, if I give it all my money.
But then
there's a guarantee.
Do everything they say,
And even if you do and it's not working, they're yelling at you that you're not doing enough or you're doing it wrong. And when you bring up any doubt, any criticism, fuck you.
Yeah.
And it's not me, it's you. It's your problem.
Yeah. That mirror exercise just lays the base for everything after. You're just like, everything after this is your problem.
Yeah. Some of the video footage of those, because, I mean, how stupid are they? Almost all of those sessions and stuff are recorded on Zoom, and they
Yeah.
were all on this hard drive
Yeah.
that Keely
hmm
had. So she has all of these recorded meetings and
Stuff that wasn't meant to be
Seminars.
public facing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all on video, and the attitude of this fucking guy
Mm-hmm.
sometimes is just incredible.
Yeah. If nothing else, it should immediately disqualify him from any kind of like
Mm-hmm.
deity status.
No,
I mean,
he's
gods and saviors don't act like selfish pricks.
he's an
all the time.
insufferable.
Yeah.
Prick.
I
is
mean,
a
I don't know
pretty good
how they act, but I'm pretty sure it's not that way.
word. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sure.
pretty sure. Yeah, Buddha, he is not.
No.
That's for sure.
I think what struck me is like just like we've said, how sad it is that people get manipulated like that.
Mhm.
It just, yeah, it strikes a chord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Long lasting
Mm-hmm.
consequences for some
Mhm.
of these
Yeah.
people.
And I do have to resist the urge sometimes to be like, how could you not see this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, certainly it wasn't like this in the beginning. And then, like you said,
Yeah.
the more it's like the sunken cost fallacy. The more you put into it,
Mm-hmm.
well, how am I going to get out
Yeah.
without, admitting that you were wrong and you
Yeah.
messed
Just
up.
after my 3 to 4 year stint in the
Mhm.
LDS Church, I was like, oh no,
Mhm.
I'm going to have to
Oh no!
tell everybody I know, like,
Yeah.
my bad. Like, I don't really believe this. After I had presented so
Mm-hmm.
firmly, yes, this is my truth now.
Yeah,
And
it
it's,
is very uncomfortable.
what's the level above embarrassing?
Oh, humiliating.
Humiliating.
And-
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfect example. Not only did you, I mean, I don't know how deeply affected you were by the promise of eternal life and all that stuff, but it started. You did it for love.
I did it for love.
Yeah.
I did.
Your twin
Look
flame.
at you.
I mean, there's so many different factors behind that, and cultural factors too, especially here in the United
Sure.
States. If you've ever watched a Disney movie growing up,
Yeah.
like you're fed constantly
Yeah.
that there's someone out there for you. There's a soulmate,
You're
or
happily
if
ever
there's not
after.
There's a
one
prince.
soulmate, there's somebody, and you're entitled to a happily ever after, which
Yes.
I believe everyone is entitled to be loved.
Yeah.
I don't think romantic love is something that everyone can expect to have in
Sure.
their lives
True.
at all.
Yeah.
And
But to be loved and accepted by another human being. just
absolutely, that's a right.
for
You-
connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves that. Everyone
Yeah.
needs that.
It doesn't need to be monogamous for your whole life.
Right. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I totally see, and I've known people, and I've been that person that thinks that, ooh, that union with
Mhm.
a couple,
Mhm.
whatever that couple looks like for you, is my happy place.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The stats say
Yeah.
it's not the case.
Yeah.
It's not usually not the case.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking yesterday, it was really hard to like lose all your Mormon friends and this
Yeah.
like life you've built, right? And I was thinking yesterday about like the people who I consider to be like my close people, and how I really feel this sense that the people who I love are like a part of me. Like they are, they have a very special place in my heart. And I don't believe that I will live with them in the afterlife,
Mhm.
And praise God together forever. But, right now it's so beautiful to just, even when we're apart, I know I have like people who I share this connection with.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful for that. And I
And
don't.
to appreciate it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, and not, I only love my boyfriend. So I don't have friends. Like,
Everything else comes second.
right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The hierarchy.
hmm
Yeah. God, so grateful I don't have like.
We'll catch up during the millennium.
Right.
I was really glad that we're able to hear from family members in the Netflix documentary.
The mother of those twins was awesome.
Oh, she's
She's like, put my name
amazing.
in there. I don't care.
Yeah. They already took my daughter. What else could
Right,
go
what
wrong?
I got to lose?
Right.
Mm.
But that kind of reinforces that. our daughter does have people that love her, that are there unconditionally. And her twin reiterates that in the documentary.
Yeah.
We can find the love that we need in life outside of a romantic setting.
Mm-hmm.
We really can.
And it doesn't have to cost $40,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. It shouldn't. It shouldn't cost $40,000.
Yeah.
If someone says that you need to give me $40,000 to love me or to find love, run away.
Or
That's
even
the wrong.
10%.
Or even 10%.
Yeah.
Yep. Give me my money back.
Yeah. There have been a few unsuccessful but attempted lawsuits about that.
Yeah.
I think there's one that's still ongoing.
As a high schooler and recent grad and missionary, I didn't end up giving that much money.
Sure.
My income wasn't that high back then. But yeah, it still burns.
Mhm.
I feel like that could have bought a couple textbooks. At least.
At least a couple.
At least a couple.
Imagine the CEOs and the doctors and the surgeons of the world that are members of the church.
The dentists.
The chiropractors, the lawyers that have given 10% of their income.
Lifestyle design entrepreneurs.
Right.
That was Jeff Ian's title before becoming Jesus, was lifestyle design entrepreneur.
What does that even mean?
Mission president was like a interior design company business owner
There
or
you
something
go.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, something for everybody in
when
Utah.
I told people I was going to BYU that were not members of the church, their first response usually was, great business school.
Great business school.
Great business school. Huh, yeah. Yeah. I was like, I'm not majoring in business, but yeah, great business school.
It's great.
So the episode before this, which at this time still hasn't come out because I have been slow to produce it, was about Mother God, which I also thought about having you come over for that one because, oh boy, that's a doozy.
Oh boy.
And that started with what they called the Twin Flame Union with Father God.
What do we have to do to start pushing back against like this Uber? And I don't want to offend too many people here, but there is a group that I do want to offend. Like the super woo-woo, give me crystals.
Yeah.
Tell me that this lady is God. Tell me that this guy's God. I'll believe it. We were meditating in the crystal.
Colloidal silver.
We were meditating in the crystal cave on fear.
Yeah.
Quote from Megan Plant, which is Shalia's original name.
Yeah.
Last night's meditation in the crystal cave. Like, can we push back against this type of mentality? Because it literally is stealing lives from people.
Yeah.
It's stealing productivity, reality. Like, let's get back to touch with reality, please.
It seems less offensive than like you're going to burn in hell if you don't believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Yeah. But it is just as much of a distraction from
it's a dangerous precursor
reality
to this like cult mentality. It's
like
a precursor. Like
thinking.
I will believe anything. I will magically believe anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to find meaning in life. We do that. We tell stories. We're human. And then for it to become harmful and controlling, and you must do this or else you have to give all of your time and your whole identity.
You have to be in alignment with the stars and Jupiter. And they're talking about it like it's hard facts.
They know their audience. I mean, because if you're into that and you see somebody throw that many jargon words into it, they're like, ooh, they know their stuff.
Yeah.
I will follow them.
Yeah.
You know, there's just this propensity, I will follow anything. It's like, put up your guard a little bit, y'all. Let's think about it.
Yeah.
Is this good for me? Is it good for those around me? Am I acting of my own volition or am I being told what's good for me? And I think if I had somebody pull me aside at the age of 18 and ask me those questions, I may have chosen differently.
Boy. But you're doing okay now.
I'm all right.
Yeah, oh, we're all doing okay.
I currently live with my two twin flames, Cosmo and Mike. We are a twin flames trinity.
Throuple.
Yes, they are golden babies. They will never need lovers.
Right.
Nope. Yeah.
They do nibble on each other now and again.
Every once in a while. But, you know, These are things we're still working through with the mirror exercise.
These are his doggies,
my dogs. Yeah.
and we love them too.
I force my
Beautiful.
dogs upon Dan quite a bit.
Yep. No, I love them.
Nothing gets me fired up
Nothing
like an
gets me
annoying
more
colt.
fired up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, they're seemingly endless. I think there was the end title card of this was like there's 10,000 active cults.
Yeah.
I think it was just the United States.
And it's growing. And what gets me riled up is it's like all too often our reaction is like, woo,
Yeah.
those people are silly
Yeah.
when there's so many real lasting consequences to it.
Mhm.
And it's not just people losing money. It's people
Losing their minds and their lives.
changing their lives. Yeah. Cutting off healthy relationships for the most unhealthy.
Mhm.
But it's still growing.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
But at least we'll get some more documentaries out of it.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's great. Nothing has me more absorbed
Yeah.
than a cult documentary.
Yeah.
Until next time, I'm Brother Dan.
I'm Sister Lisa.
I'm Jordan. It's been great. Great to be back, y'all.
Thanks, Brother Jordan.